Hello, I'm Rachel McKenty, Director of Programs and Development at Legacy Education. Thank you for joining me today, where I'll review our Blackboard learning system in partnership with the AAPC. We often have students ask us about our Blackboard learning system and how they'll have access to self-paced materials through their learning process. I thought I'd take an opportunity just to show you what our Blackboard looks like so you can see the learning environment you'll be in. On the screen now is the student preview mode, or the main screen that a student will see when they log in. There's the home screen, which we're on now, which has useful links like to the AAPC website and to their online store. Remember, students of Legacy get a lot of information for free, including some practice exams, study materials, and other tip sheets. So if you are a student of Legacy, prior to making any purchases with the AAPC, give your coach a shout out first. Other things you'll see along this screen are announcements, if there are any for your class, your assignments in order through each chapter, and you'll also see course material, like the course syllabus, software needs, and how the materials are graded. You'll also have a My Grades view. This view here, you can see all the assignments due for each chapter and what your grade was. In order to successfully complete the program with Legacy and the AAPC, all these assignments must be completed with a 70% or higher. Each chapter has its own set of materials to review, and they're all set up in this way. The Chapter 1 activities listed here first, it gives you a step-by-step of each thing that you should do through the program. So step 1 would be to read your textbook. The textbook and the workbook are both part of the Legacy program with AAPC. Physical books are sent to you upon purchase. Let's go on to another chapter here so you can see how they are all set up the same. You would also then take a quiz based on your reading, review the interactive lectures, do some more practical applications, which is coding from scratch, and then a final review exam for each chapter. You can see that each chapter is set up in this fashion. If we go to chapter 10, let's assume we've done the reading here, and we'll take this checking our understanding quiz. These here will tell you that you are allowed to take this test with multiple attempts. So these check your understanding quizzes, you can go back and redo as many times as you want. This is how the check your understanding quiz looks. You would go through and you would pick the answers. Who knows if these are right, but they will save as they go. You pick your answer. And when you've completed it, you come to the bottom and you hit save and submit. You'll see here it's telling me I haven't completed questions, but that's okay. This is for demonstration purposes only. And then you click this OK here, and it's going to give you your immediate test results. So here we can see the answers I got wrong, right, and then the rationale behind it. And the same will be true for every answer. It'll give you the wrong answer, the right answer, and then the rationales behind it. After you check your understanding from your reading, you move on to the interactive lectures. For cardiology, there are several interactive lectures available here. So let's take a look at the first one here, pacemaker and ICD.
This module focuses on the diagnostic and procedural coding for insertion or adjustment of different types of cardiac devices.
As you can see here, this is an interactive lecture that will speak to you. It's going to give you some disclaimers, and then I'll go into the lecture.
Of course you wish to view.
This particular lecture has 5 different components to it. Anatomy and terminology review, they'll go over ICD-10 codes, then they go over CPT codes, how to dissect a document, and then they'll give you some documentation to do on your own to make sure you can code appropriately. Let's look at the anatomy and terminology here for pacemaker and ICD.
The heart consists of 4 chambers, which includes 2 upper chambers, known as atria, and 2 lower chambers, termed as ventricles. These chambers comprise an electrical conduction system that causes rhythmic contractions of the heart muscles, which pumps blood throughout the body. The sinoatrial SA node, located in the right atrium, also known as the body's pacemaker, sets the rate and rhythm of each heartbeat.
Now, you can pause this at any time. You can also type your notes here and print them for later. There's other things that you can do here too. You can turn up the volume here, and you can also, if you're interested, watch the video with closed captions on. And then you can see here that the closed captions will appear.
Some of the commonly used terminologies related to insertion or adjustment of different types of cardiac devices include the following.
Now, in this
buttons to learn more.
In this interactive lecture, they're giving us button choices to learn more. So let's look at pacemaker. It's giving us a definition of the pacemaker here. Other different definitions along the way. We keep going on. Oh, in order to complete this, it will make you look at all the definitions. So let's look at another chapter just so you can see how it works. Chapter 16. This is for anesthesia. Same setup. It'll tell you what to read in your book, to check your understanding, to go over the interactive lectures, and then it'll give you practical applications. Now, these will give you different worksheets that will help you know what you're doing in the practical applications so that you're not alone. For example, this will pop up a sheet on different ways to find diagnosis coding. It'll pop up a sheet on how to read operative reports. And then it'll tell you this is practice only. This will not count towards your final grade. Although it does not count towards your final grade, you are required to complete these and this and get a 70% higher with Legacy in order to advance onto the HCC internship program. So let's take a look at this. You can see here, this tells you multiple attempts are allowed. So when we begin, it's going to be giving us the case information. It'll highlight things in red that it wants us to notice, and then we'll be coding from scratch, putting in our CPT code, our ICD-10 code, and then the time reported here. And it'll tell you the question is unanswered. So let's just make something up to get through here. Save. Now, when we get to the last question, we have a save and submit. And like the other ones, it's going to give us all of the feedback we need here, including our response and the rationale. As we complete assignments, our grades will start to populate in this field here. We can see here, I failed this test miserably, so I have a 0 out of 100. And if we go down to our anesthesia section here, we can see I also failed this one too. And then at the bottom is your total percentage grade. Now we're back at the home screen. Hopefully this has given you some insight onto how our self-paced courses work in conjunction with the AAPC interactive learning modules known as the Blackboard. If you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out at www.medicalbilco.com.